Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It is Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It is 1718 Zulu on June 4th, 2024. And this is Tuesdays with DX Engineering. And this is a show where we try to have on DX Engineering folks that are part of our team. And you get to learn more about them and learn about some of the things that they're working on. And today we have Michael, KI8R. Hello, Michael.
Hi, Tim. How you doing?
Good, good. Michael, you've been a part of the DX engineering team for how long now?
3 years this month.
3 years. Wow. Time is really flying.
No
Michael, one
doubt.
of the products that you really went in depth on and really became an expert on is the ARCO antenna controller for your rotator. How's that working out?
I absolutely love this thing. I can't say enough good about it. It's a lot of eye candy. It works very well. I've never had any issues with it since I've had it, and I've had mine for over a year. And of course, one of the hazards of working for DX Engineering is I get sent things to play with and review, and then I wind up buying them. So, but it's all good.
How long have you had the ARCO, Michael?
It's been about 13 months.
13 months. So that's a pretty good track record. You came here to K3LR and installed 2 units, and they've been working great. The operators here love the ARCOs. I'm not sure we're making any more contacts because of the ARCOs, but like you said, they sure look nice. What about other customers that have adopted the ARCO and have purchased ARCOs? How are they doing?
The customers I've talked to that have had questions, everybody seems to really like the unit a lot. It's not the most inexpensive thing in the world, but it just works, and it just makes any rotor, I would even go so far to say that even the Green Heron, it just makes it so much easier to use than anything else that's out there today. Having presets that you can just hit on a touchscreen, because it has a 7-inch touchscreen on it. It's easy to configure would work with pretty much every rotor that's out there today. So it just works.
And so let's talk for a second about that configuration. How about the manual and the support from Microham?
So the manual is reasonably well laid out. I've had a number of conversations with Microham with different questions, and they've been very responsive. So they've been great.
And Michael, what rotator are you controlling with the ARCO?
I have a Yaesu G1000.
Okay, that's a pretty big rotator, and it obviously the Yaesu rotators, we sell a lot of them, especially now, not knowing what the future looks like for high gain rotators.
Right.
You've had good experience with the Yaesu rotators?
Mine came from an estate of a friend. So I don't know how long he had it, but I've had it up almost 8 years and never had an issue with it.
8 years. And what antennas do you have on your G1000?
I have a TH11, and above that, a modified 5-element Cushcraft 6-meter beam.
All right. So 6-meter beam and a big tri-bender, the TH11, a lot of elements, a lot of wind load, and 8 years, no problems.
No real issues at all. Been great.
That's great. And now, correct me if I'm wrong. The Yaesu rotators allow more than 360 degrees of rotation.
Yeah, I go to 450.
Go to 450. And do you have your ARCO set up to do that?
Yeah. So the ARCO by default will do that. So you tell the ARCO what rotor you're using, and it knows that rotor will go to 450 degrees.
So that allows a lot of over travel, and north centered, right? Because we're in the northern hemisphere, and so it's north is straight up, and your south stops are extended pretty much.
One of them is, not both. So
Okay.
the way the AC works is you get one direction that goes to 450 degrees.
Okay. All right. Well, that's often handy because so many times you're down maybe at 150 or 160 degrees and you want to go to 190 or 200 and you can't get there without going all the way back around.
Exactly.
So, no, that's really good. Michael, what are you hearing about field day? What sorts of questions are guys calling in with about field day that you're helping them with?
So we're talking to people about coax. We're talking to people about antennas, portable antennas, different things along that line.
Any interest or discussions about the high visibility coax that we just introduced here, Michael?
So yeah, I actually have some that I bought for myself, and I think that stuff is just great. It just makes it really nice because it just lays on the ground. It's orange. It stands out against the grass. And so, yeah, we have had a lot of interest in that, and people seem to really like it.
You know, it's a good way to go. And of course, all of our coax connector prep tools work with it. You know, so it makes it very easy. Let's take a look at the chat room here. See, maybe we even have a question for you, Michael. We've got X-Ray Echo 2 Zulu Zulu is on with us, and Whiskey 6 Quebec Radio is on from Southern California, and our friend Dino, Kilo Lima Zero Sierra, 345 days until Hambench in 2025. Can't wait. I think Dino is hooked. And we've got our friend young Michael. Good afternoon, guys. W3 Mexico Lima Juliet. And Barry is on from England, Germany 6 Juliet Mike X-Ray. And from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, it's WA4 Mike Oscar Mike. And good afternoon, Tim and Michael. I could never work at DX Engineering. I wouldn't have any savings. You know, that is the case. And every time I go to buy something, they ask me, "Don't you have everything yet?" And that's the great thing about looking at new products. What's new on the DX Engineering website? And you know, Nicole and Melanie and Maria are loading up new products all the time. And of course, Gene and Rod are writing all the copy for it. So a great team, Michael, that keeps updating all the new products. You got to be excited about that.
It is so hard to keep up with all the new stuff. We always have something else.
Every day, something is being added. We've got Mark on, Kilo 2 Charlie Sierra X-Ray, and Tom. Hello, guys. November Golf 3 Quebec. Nice to have you on, Tom. And
I know Tom. I used to work with Tom.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. Great to have you on, Tom. And we've got Michael here. Dino says, what's a good planning figure for rotator coax length to allow complete rotation? You know, Michael, that's a great question because of that 450 degrees. What do you think?
It really kind of depends on your antenna, you know, how the antenna and where the coax mounts, whether it's out on the boom further or whatever. There's a lot of factors there in play. And honestly, Tim, you've got a lot more experience in it than I do on that part. Well, you have a lot more towers.
Yeah, the thing I don't have experience with is that 450 degrees. So with that over travel that is allowed on the one end, you might have to adjust things. But real easy rule of thumb, number one, don't tape the coax along the boom real close to the tower. There's no reason to do that. Leave it off the tower. And of course, you want to make sure you have a good balun on that coax too, so that the coax is not part of the antenna system. And then what we do here is we look at putting the rotor right at north or 0 degrees. And that's where the loop is designed. So the loop is got, you know, maybe 2 or 3 feet of sag at that point. And then as the rotator goes south by east or south by west, that loop is taken up. And you want to make sure, especially on a guide tower, you know, with the proper climbing harness and everything. And of course, there's lots of professional guys out there. It's often handy if you can have somebody on the tower doing this, or at least somebody on the ground with binoculars to make sure that that loop doesn't get too tight, or, you know, worse yet. So it's, you know, that, but I always set the loop when going north, so that way it's got enough travel to go both ends of south. But like we talked about, Michael, with the 450 degrees,
Yeah.
with your Yaesu rotator, you've got to take that into account as well.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time when I put the TH11 up, rotating things around a few times to make sure that nothing was binding or anything.
Or catching on, you know, things on the tower and so forth.
Right.
That's one thing you don't want to have. And of course, we do have the guy guards that will go over the preforms right at the top, so that you're not dragging your coax alongside that rough preform, you know, and maybe injuring the outside covering of your RG213 from DX Engineering.
Yep.
And, you know, if you have a question about your field day setup, about your home setup, June is a great time of the year to be thinking about getting your tower projects in line. And everybody is really getting jazzed up about field day, because field day will be here before we know it. So you can always call in to Michael and the rest of the DX Engineering sales team, and we'll help you figure out what the best way is to attack the problems, and also get you set up with the right equipment, because we want to make sure that you have the stuff that you need. And Michael, thanks so much for coming on today.
Absolutely, I enjoyed it.
All right, and we'll have you on again soon. I'm sure you're going to be doing some videos on some other products, and we'll look forward to seeing those as well. And thanks to all of you for watching. We'll see you on Thursday. We're going to have a special guest. You don't want to miss it. We're going to be talking amplifiers Thursday, the Manufacturer Showcase, right here on the DX Engineering channels. Until then, 73 from DX Engineering.
73.